There comes a moment in life, a distinct turning point, when your silence no longer feels like a choice of wisdom. It no longer carries the calm weight of patience or the quiet dignity of observation. Instead, it begins to feel like a wound, a slow and persistent pain. It is the moment when your kindness, once given freely from a place of abundance, begins to look suspiciously like weakness in the mirror. When your forgiveness, offered as a bridge for a better future, is mistaken for a permission slip to repeat the same offense. That is the exact moment of awakening. That is when you realize, with a clarity that is both brutal and liberating, that peace without boundaries is not peace at all. It is a myth, a fantasy sold to the accommodating. What you have been calling peace is, in truth, quiet suffering. It is the internal erosion of your spirit for the external comfort of others. The foundational truth you must accept is this: no matter how deeply you love someone, a partner, a parent, a lifelong friend, you must never allow that love to destroy your self-respect. Love and self-respect are not opposing forces. They are the twin pillars of a healthy relationship. If one must be sacrificed for the other, the structure is already condemned. Because those who truly value you, who see your worth as inherent and non-negotiable, will never ask you to lose yourself just to keep them. They will not demand you become smaller, quieter, or less vibrant to fit the confines of their comfort. Their affection is not a cage. It is the space in which you are encouraged to grow. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once wrote in his private journal a thought that has echoed through centuries. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Consider the profound depth of that statement. Your mind is not a passive chamber. It is an active dyer's vat. Every thought, every repeated worry, every tolerated insult is a drop of pigment. If you let toxic behavior, toxic words, and toxic dynamics live too long in your psychological and emotional space, they will start to dye your soul as well. The process is insidious. It happens slowly, quietly, in the background of your daily compromises. One day you wake up and you no longer recognize the person in the mirror. The light in your eyes has dimmed. Your posture speaks of burden, not strength. Your inner dialogue is no longer your own. It's the critical, diminishing voice of someone you've allowed to stay too long. Your soul has been dyed with the color of their disrespect. So today, we move from passive endurance to active sovereignty. Let's reflect with unflinching honesty on 6 specific toxic behaviors you should never, under any guise of loyalty or history, tolerate in your life. Not from strangers whose opinions should mean nothing, not from friends who have forgotten what friendship requires, and not even from family who sometimes believe shared blood is a license for shared misery. This is not about severing ties in rage, but about establishing order in your inner kingdom. Because real strength is not measured by how much pain, disrespect, or chaos you can endure before breaking. That is not strength, that is martyrdom. Real, stoic strength is measured by what you consciously, calmly refuse to allow into the sacred space of your life. It is defined by your boundaries, not your breaking point. This is one of the most common and corrosive forms of psychological erosion. It is the weaponization of humor. You see it in the person who laughs a little too loudly at your dreams, who dismisses your ambitions with a witty, belittling remark. They mock your ideas in group settings, turning your sincere effort into a public punchline for easy laughter. And when you flinch, when you finally speak up to say that hurt, they perform the classic maneuver. They smirk, they shake their head. They deliver the line designed to shut you down and make you the problem. Relax, can't you take a joke? You're so sensitive. But you must remember this truth and carve it into your understanding. A joke that consistently humiliates you, that targets your insecurities, your aspirations, or your core identity is not humor. It is disrespect wearing a clown's mask. It is a subtle power play, a way to keep you in a diminished position while the aggressor maintains plausible deniability. I was just kidding, they say. But the impact is the point. When you keep laughing along, forcing a smile while you die inside, you are not being the easygoing, fun person you pretend to be. You are conducting a training session. You are training them, through your compliance, to believe it is perfectly acceptable to diminish you. Every forced laugh is a lesson you teach them. You can hurt me, and I will reward you with my silence and my smile. Marcus Aurelius provided the strategic counter to such petty aggression. He said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Do not descend into their mud. Do not fight their fire with your own, becoming sarcastic or cruel in return. That only pulls you down to their level and gives their game energy. Instead, fight their fire with a profound, unshakable indifference. When someone makes a joke at your expense, your power move is not a counterpunch. It is perfect calm. Let the joke hang in the air. Meet their expectant gaze. Look them directly, calmly, in the eyes, and say nothing. Do not smirk, do not frown, do not react. Just hold their gaze with the quiet assurance of a cliff face regarding the sea. This silence, when it is rooted in deep self-respect and not in stunned hurt, will communicate more than any angry outburst ever could. Anger is a fuel they expect. It feeds the drama. Silence, especially chosen, deliberate silence, is a vacuum. It swallows their attempt at dominance. It makes their joke brittle and awkward. Because silence, when wielded intentionally, transforms from emptiness into power. It is the sound of your dignity erecting a wall. Every single time you refuse to provide the reaction they seek, the hurt, the anger, the flustered defense, you are teaching them a new language. You are teaching them that your dignity is not a communal toy to be played with. It is sovereign territory. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, you will begin to attract a different caliber of people into your life. You will repel the emotional predators who feed on reaction and attract those who understand the profound language of respect, a language often spoken most eloquently in the quiet space between words. 2. Emotional manipulation. Manipulators are not crude cartoon villains. They are sophisticated artists, and their medium is guilt. They are master craftsmen who take your innate empathy, your capacity to care, and they twist it into a leash. They take the gold of your kindness and, through psychological alchemy, shape it into bars for your own cage. You will recognize their work by the phrases they paint with, "I thought you cared about me," said with a wounded sigh. "After everything I've done for you," implying a debt you never agreed to owe. "If you really loved me, you would," a sentence that ends with you betraying your own needs. But Stoic philosophy draws a bright, unwavering line through this fog. It teaches a liberating doctrine. You are responsible for your own actions, your own choices, and your own virtue. You are not responsible for managing, coddling, or fixing another adult's emotions. Their disappointment, their anger, their sadness, these are their own to own and to navigate. Your duty is to act with integrity, not to orchestrate their happiness. Seneca, the Stoic thinker who advised an emperor, pinpointed the manipulator's workshop. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Manipulators are architects of imaginary suffering. They don't need to create real consequences. They only need to make you imagine them. They build elaborate, terrifying illusions in the theater of your mind. Illusions where your reasonable boundary is painted as a catastrophic cruelty, where your simple no is framed as a profound betrayal of trust. They make you fear a reaction that hasn't happened, mourn a loss that isn't real. Yet a mind trained in calm discernment knows this. You do not need to be understood to be right. You do not need their permission to uphold your boundary. You do not need their blessing to protect your peace. Your clarity does not require their comprehension. Your only requirement is to be crystal clear within yourself about what you stand for and what you will no longer stand for. Therefore, your defense is not a louder argument. It is firmer ground. Stand firm in your calm. Let your unshakable calmness become the mirror that reflects their chaos back at them. Your steadiness will frustrate their attempts to create a storm. Remember, you owe no one your emotional stability simply because they have chosen to lose theirs. Their storm does not obligate you to provide shelter at the cost of your own foundations. Refuse to dance. Refuse to move to the frantic, discordant rhythm of their manufactured guilt. Refuse to be controlled by someone else's emotional hurricanes. True, durable peace is not discovered in the impossible task of pleasing everyone. It is forged in the unwavering decision to stay rooted, centered, and unmoved while others whirl around you, trying with all their might to pull you off balance. Your center of gravity is yours alone. Constant negativity, the victim mindset. Energy is not a metaphor. It is a tangible contagion. Some people walk into a room and you feel lighter, as if the air itself becomes easier to breathe. Others leave a space, and the room feels heavier, as if a psychological fog has rolled in. You know the type. They are citizens of the Republic of Complaint. They feed on drama like it is their primary nutrient. They drain joy, optimism, and vitality from every conversation, not with malice, but with a relentless, soul-sucking habit. A Stoic knows that the mind is not a public park. It is a fortified citadel. It must be guarded with the vigilance of a sentry. You cannot allow just any thought or influence to pass through its gates. Epictetus, who rose from slavery to become one of history's great teachers, gave a direct order on this. Keep company only with those who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. This is not elitism, it is profound hygiene. The thoughts, attitudes, and vibrational frequency of the people you spend the most time with do not merely influence you, they seep into you. They become the very thoughts that, over time, shape and color your own soul. You will begin to narrate your life in their voice. You cannot build a palace of peace in the middle of a factory of constant noise. The solution is not to argue, not to try and logic them into optimism. You cannot fix someone who is emotionally invested in their own brokenness. The solution is graceful, deliberate distance. You step away, quietly, without fanfare or dramatic pronouncements. This is a crucial understanding. You can love people deeply, from a distance, and still love yourself enough to not drown with them. You must protect your internal peace as if your very life depends on it. Because on a psychological and spiritual level, it absolutely does. This also applies to the specific subspecies of negativity, the perpetual victim. This is the person who has mastered the art of dodging accountability. When they fail, the fault is always external: the market, a colleague, bad luck, you. When they hurt you, through a stunning feat of mental gymnastics, the story is rewritten until you become the reason for their actions. They are always the misunderstood hero of their own tragedy, and you are either the villain or the disappointing sidekick. These people are energy vampires of the highest order. Every apology you offer for their behavior, every time you absorb the blame to keep the peace, becomes another signed permission slip for them to remain exactly as they are. A Stoic does not chase after apologies, which are often just words. He is a student of patterns. He watches behavior, not speeches. If the harmful behavior repeats, the words of remorse are meaningless noise. They are the script for a play they have no intention of closing. Marcus Aurelius cut to the heart of it. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Be the example of integrity, accountability, and calm. But do not stoop to carry, drag, or convince those who refuse to walk beside you on that path. You cannot fix, rescue, or enlighten people who are fundamentally committed to misunderstanding you and the world. Walk away, not with the heat of anger, but with the cool certainty of a decision made. Return to your own calm. When you choose your own integrity over reacting to their chaos, their drama loses its most important asset, your audience. This is a subtle poison, often administered with a smile. Some people will genuinely celebrate your success. Others will smile, nod, offer the correct words of praise, but their eyes tell a completely different story. You can feel it, a quiet tension, a subtle cooling in their tone, a dimming of their enthusiasm when your light shines a little too brightly for their comfort. This is not support. This is envy, wearing a very convincing mask of camaraderie. Stoicism does not teach you to be paranoid, to see enemies everywhere. It teaches you to be acutely, calmly aware, to perceive what is, not what you wish were true. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. The thoughts fermenting in an envious heart are of poor quality indeed. They are poisoned by constant, silent comparison. Their metric is not their own progress, but your position relative to theirs. Your success is not a cause for collective joy. It is a reminder of their own perceived lack." A hard but necessary truth. Not everyone who is clapping for you is proud of you. Some are only clapping to stay close, to remain in your orbit, so they have a front row seat for the moment they believe is inevitable: your fall. Do not let their silent, shadowy doubt cast a single cloud over your light. Do not dim your achievements to make them more comfortable. This is where you learn the power of silent progression. Keep building, keep moving, but do so more quietly. Let your results, your tangible progress, your unshakable peace speak so loudly that you no longer need to seek reassurance or validation from the sidelines. Protect your progress, but protect it with humility, not with naivety. Humility is knowing you have more to learn. Naivety is believing everyone wishes you well. Understand that those who envy your peace are almost always people who have not yet found their own. Their resentment, their backhanded compliments, their subtle digs, these are not really about you. They are the echo, the external sound of their own profound internal unrest. It is the noise of their own unsatisfied soul. Therefore, do not join their race. When you sense their competitive energy, their need to compare, you do the most powerful thing possible. You stop running. You stay still. You stay focused on your own path, your own values, your own definition of success. You stay deeply, actively grateful for what you have and who you are, because gratitude is the ultimate foolproof antidote to envy. When you are truly, authentically content with your own journey, the struggles, the pace, the unique scenery, no one else's path, no matter how glamorous it appears, can disturb the bedrock of your peace. Your contentment makes you invulnerable to their comparison. Boundary violation. This is the fundamental test of all relationships. Boundaries. Let us redefine them clearly. Boundaries are not walls of hostility, built to keep everyone out. They are the intelligent, necessary gates in the wall of your personal citadel. They are the structures, the rules of access that protect your peace, your time, your energy, and your mind. They define where you end and another person begins. The violation is clear. When you say no, a complete sentence, and someone argues, negotiates, guilts, or pushes past it, that is not love, that is control. When you draw a clear, reasonable line in the sand regarding your time, your emotional capacity, or your values, and they consistently step over it, sometimes even pretending not to see it, that is not care. That is entitlement. It is a belief that their wants have a right to override your needs. Epictetus, a man who owned nothing but his own will, gave us the core principle. No person is free who is not master of himself. To be your own master, you must move from announcing your boundaries to enforcing them. You must stop explaining, justifying, and bargaining over your limits with people who are fundamentally dedicated to breaking them. Your boundaries are not a topic for debate. They are the law of your land. A Stoic does not scream his limits from the rooftops. He embodies them calmly and consistently. He does not say, "Please respect my time," and then answer calls at all hours. He says, "I am unavailable after 7 p.m., and then lets the call go to voicemail. The enforcement is the communication. When you begin to value your time concretely, others slowly learn to respect it. When you treat your energy as a finite, precious resource and stop pouring it into bottomless cups, people stop bringing their empty buckets to you. Your behavior teaches them how to treat you. The moment of supreme empowerment comes when you stop chasing people around, trying to make them understand why your boundary exists. Their understanding is not required for your boundary to be valid. Your need for peace is reason enough. When you release the need for their comprehension, you reclaim an immense amount of energy. You can then walk away, not in a huff of anger which still ties you to them emotionally, but in a state of quiet confidence. You simply turn and tend to your own garden. Marcus Aurelius connected this directly to power. The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength. The calmness you maintain while upholding a boundary is not weakness or passivity. It is the highest form of power. It is power that is not derived from controlling others, but from absolute command of oneself. When you reach that point of self-command, you no longer need to announce your worth, list your accomplishments, or shout your standards. Your very peace, your unassailable calm, speaks volumes on your behalf. It announces to the world that you are governed by an internal authority that cannot be bribed, bullied, or negotiated with. Therefore, make this your mantra. Do not tolerate what drains you. Do not negotiate your non-negotiable. Do not apologize for the act of evolving into someone who finally respects himself enough to say, calmly and finally, enough. The refusal to release what harm you. This is the summation of all the points above. Peace is not found by fleeing the world, by isolating yourself on a mountain of solitude. That is avoidance. True peace is found in the daily, disciplined application of discernment, the discipline to protect your space, your energy inputs, and the sanctity of your own soul. That discipline has a very clear starting pistol. It begins the moment you make the conscious, willful decision to stop tolerating what has long proven it does not deserve a place in your life. This is the beating heart of practical Stoicism. It is not about detaching from the world in a cold, emotionless state. It is about achieving profound mastery within the world. It is the ability to stand perfectly calm in the raging presence of chaos, not because you don't see it, but because you are not of it. It is the strength to remain kind, compassionate, and virtuous without allowing those qualities to turn you into a victim for others to exploit. It is the art of walking away from what harms you without carrying the burning coals of resentment in your heart, and the practiced skill of returning to your own unshakable center every single time, no matter what tries to pull you off course. Remember, strength is not loud. It does not need to announce itself. It does not require an audience of applause or validation. It is the quiet, bone-deep assurance that lives in your spine. It is the knowledge that no matter what storms happen outside, the criticism, the betrayal, the chaos, the noise, you remain the sole, sovereign ruler of your inner world. Your thoughts, your reactions, your values, and your peace are your domain. Closing reflection, the architect of your experience. You will meet a vast spectrum of people in this life. Some will be kindred spirits, their kindness a balm. Some will be cruel, their actions a lesson in hardness. And many will simply be lost, projecting their confusion onto anyone nearby. But never forget the fundamental law of human dynamics. You are the architect. You teach others every single day how to treat you. Your curriculum is not your words, but what you consistently allow. What you tolerate becomes the standard. Do not trade your inner peace for the mere proximity of others, for the fear of being alone. The world in its chaotic flow will constantly test your patience, your resolve, your boundaries. See these not as personal attacks, but as weather patterns. Your peace, however, is not weather. It is the sacred internal climate you are responsible for maintaining. Guard it with your life. Because once you truly master your reactions, once the gap between an external stimulus and your internal response widens into a space of conscious choice. This is the art of emotional control, the path to a masculine or simply a resilient peace, the discipline of timeless, quiet strength. If these words resonate with you, do not let them be just another video you watched. Pause. Truly reflect. Ask yourself the pivotal, uncomfortable question. What or who am I still tolerating in my life that consistently steals my calm, dims my light, or costs me my self-respect? Name it. See it clearly. Then, when you are ready, and the readiness comes from self-love, not from hatred of another, let it go. Release the weight. Walk away quietly, without drama, without the need for a final, cathartic confrontation. Just turn and walk toward your own peace and rise. Because peace is not a fragile gift you stumble upon by luck. It is not a prize others can give you. It is a formidable power you build, brick by brick, through the daily choices of what you allow and what you refuse. It is a citadel you construct within, and the world, in time, always bows to those who have mastered the universe inside themselves.